So the market is crazy right now. This is October 1st, 2020 when I'm recording this. Prices are currently going up like crazy. There are no houses for sale, and a lot of people are trying to buy a house. So you got not supply, high demand, which is a lot of people trying to buy, and that's because interest rates are low. And when interest rates are low, people can afford more house because the amount they are approved for goes up. So if you were approved for 165 back when rates were 5%, now rates are 2.5, 3%. You might be approved for 185 or 190 currently. So that entices people to go out and buy. But the situation that we have is the houses that are for sale is very little houses for sale. So when you have one house for sale and four people, when they throw up the house for sale for 175, somebody's gonna say, I'll pay you 180. Another person's gonna say, I'll pay you 185. It might sell at 185 and that price goes up. So when somebody else goes to sell their house, they're gonna say, well, what can we put our house up for? And like, well, we're looking around, we see that house right there, which is similar to ours, sold for 185. Let's throw it up for 185. Again, there's one house for sale, four buyers. Somebody's gonna say I'll pay you 90. Somebody's gonna say I'll pay you 195. The house sells for 195, and the price just keeps repeating itself. So prices are going up super fast. So that's the current state. Um, People are in the market; they want to buy a house. And if you're in the market and you're trying to buy a house, I suggest that if you feel like you're gonna overpay, it's okay. It might be all right to overpay. Because if you buy a house for, if I told you someone bought a house for 120 back in 2000, and then we look up in 2020 and that house that they bought for 120 20 years ago, well, let's not use that example, that's too far. Let's say somebody bought a house in 2013 for $150,000. Let's skip forward to 2020. They put it up for sale for $175,000, and somebody buys it for 175. I'll ask you, when they bought it for what did I say, 150 back in 2013, do you think they got a deal? If they bought it for 150 and they sold it for 175, did they get a deal? Most people would say yes. What if I told you in 2013 when they bought it for 150 that it was listed for 130? House was at 130 for sale, they bought it for 150. Did they still get a deal? And they sold it for 175? Most people would still say yes. So that's the situation we're in right now. And I want you all to be cognizant of that. If you're looking to get into the market or if you're working with me, uh, you may be able to, it's really no such thing as overpaying for a house without knowing what the future holds. And people say it's not timing the market, as in, don't try to get in when prices are low or wait to stay and you stay back when prices are high. It's time in the market. So that example that I gave you, when somebody bought a house for $150,000 in 2013, that's an example of time in the market. They got in the market and they waited. So that's why you can probably get away for quote unquote overpaying for a house right now. Another thing is, so in the Atlanta metro area, we have low interest rates. As I explained to you, that allows a lot of people, not allows, but it entices a lot of people to get into the market to buy a home. But our population is growing like crazy. So what does that mean? That means there's more people coming here and they are also wanting to buy a house, and we don't have that much land available. Currently in October of 2020, because of Corona, the prices of lumber have damn near tripled, or I think they have tripled. So builders aren't building as fast as they were. They're not building as much as they were. So the amount of houses coming up for sale um, is very low. So the supply, which is the amount of houses that go for sale, is remaining at all-time lows. But we have more mortgage applications this year than we did last year, despite all of the furloughs and layoffs, if you can believe it or not. So the way it's looking as we go towards the future with these low interest rates, a growing population, low supply, and the high cost of building homes, it's looking like prices are going to still be going up. Even when we have this eviction moratorium lifted, and if you don't know, in the foreclosure moratorium lifted, and if you don't know what that is, that's basically the government saying, hey, you cannot evict or foreclose on any point right now for the rest of 2020. Some states, such as California, have extended it to February of 2020. Even when that is lifted, people think there is going to be a whole bunch of homes that just shoot up on the market and prices are going to drop. And if you don't know how prices fall, it's when you have a house just sit on the market and is not selling. So the best thing that you can possibly do is cut the price. That's how prices go down. But you only do that when there are more houses for sale than there are people in the market to buy. Because if you got 5 houses to sell and one person in the market to buy, do you think these guys are going to get what they're asking for? No, because this guy can choose from any of them. He can say, well, I'll just shoot an offer at $20,000 below on all 5 and we'll see who bites. That's not happening right now. There's only one house for sale and there's 5 people looking to buy, like the example I gave you before. So with the eviction and the foreclosure thing lifted, the moratorium lifted, houses are not just going to hit the market immediately. People still have to go through an eviction process. That's still going to take a long time because the city in every single state in America takes forever when it comes to getting folks out of houses. The foreclosure moratorium is not that many foreclosures that were planning to hit the market in the first place. The people who weren't paying their mortgage in 2020, they are not going to get foreclosed on. They're going to get worked with. So if you don't have a federal back loan, which is something like FHA, you do not qualify for mortgage forbearance. And if you don't know what that is, that's simply saying that you don't have to pay your mortgage for a whole year, March 2019 to March 2020. But you would think, well, people haven't been paying their mortgage, so they're going to get foreclosed on. Well, in 2020, the way it works is you have another 3 months to not pay your mortgage, and then they'll start a foreclosure process. And that's in Georgia. In Texas, I think it's only like 30 days. It varies state by state. But banks are not trying to foreclose on everybody at one time because of PR reasons. They don't want to be looked at in the media as the bad guys. Some people think they're already looked at as the bad guys, but people still continue to go to them to get a mortgage to go back home, so they are not. So if you the first bank to start massively, or not massively, but start foreclosing on people in a massive wave, they're going to be looked at as the bad guy, and that's bad for business. It's a bad PR situation. You don't want people pointing their finger at them in the media. And you don't want to see a whole bunch of articles coming up about your own bank when you own it, right? Talking about it, these people are the devil, because then people won't come to you and you'll lose business. So they're not going to be foreclosing on a whole bunch of people at one time. And even if they were, we have so many people in the market to buy right now. And right now is October 1st. So that's when the payment protection program ended. What is that? That's basically unemployment stimulus checks that for businesses. But the businesses only qualify to get that money if they hold on to a certain amount of employees. But now is the deadline. Today, they're letting a whole bunch of people go. Disneyland said they're going to let go 28,000 employees. United said they're going to let go of 16,000 employees. Another airline said they're going to let go of 19,000 employees. We're having mass layoffs right now across the country as I'm recording this video. Even with that being said, not everybody's getting laid off. There's still a lot of people in the market. They're still trying to buy houses, and we still have very low supply. Demand is greater than supply. Whenever that happens, prices will go up. In first quarter of 2021, January, February, and March, that's when we expect to see some more houses come up on the market because the moratorium is going to be lifted, and people are going to say, well, shoot, we might as well sell our house since we just lost our job. And they can really, because the average American has over $100,000 worth of equity, they can sell it for less than it's worth, and they can still come out okay and have a big chunk of cash, to live off of. And if you live in your house 2 of the last 5 years, you qualify for a tax-free sale. So that amount of equity is going to prevent the from the real estate market just from crashing or a whole bunch of other foreclosures. Nobody's not going to go through a short sale, which is basically selling your house for less than what the loan is on the house. So if the loan is $100,000, you try to sell your house for $80,000. That's not going to happen because people have equity. And on top of that, you can just put your house up and sell it because there. So what I'm basically saying to you is there's not going to be a whole bunch of houses. There's not going to be more houses on the market than there are people in the market trying to buy a house. So prices might still go up. The best time to get in the market still might be right now or the beginning of 2021. We had more to choose from because prices are still going to continue to climb based on the facts and what's going on right now. And this is October. I'll be talking to you guys and telling you about what I see and how the housing market is faring. I just be giving you updates on the housing market just to let you know if prices are going up or prices are going down. Right now, they're going up really fast, and you don't want it to be a situation where you wanted to buy a house, but you waited too long, right? And now you're like the people in New York. If you don't know, most of the people in New York rent, and they don't ever think about buying. And the reason is because it's too expensive to buy. And the reason it's too expensive to buy is because they don't have that many available family living units, but they have a ton of people. If you go to New York City, you see thousands of people walking the streets. They have the high population. That's what Georgia is currently undergoing. Our population is increasing, and with people being able to work from home, they make their money by working from home. So if that is the case and we don't have to go to our office, why would we stay in states like Southern California? Why would we stay in states like New York when the cost of living is really high? We can move to Georgia where our pay would be the same, but our cost of living would go down dramatically. So we might see an influx of people moving to Georgia. There were already a lot of people moving to Georgia. There's a lot of constructions, office buildings going up. A lot of jobs are already here. A lot of companies are already planning to move here, but that might change because of Corona. So they're cutting leases. I know Pinterest paid $83 million to get out of a lease. So that's what we're dealing with right now. So you might be saying, Julian, are the housing prices going up or are they going down? Right now, they're going up. And I'll probably put out another video probably mid to late October. If not then, it'll probably be mid to late November to see if things are slowly changing, because in real estate, it takes about 3 to 6 months for stuff to catch up, for prices to catch up with what's currently going on. There's a lag time. So that's what's happening with the real estate market right now. That's why you might be able to get away for overpaying with the house, because prices might still continue to go up because builders will not be building a whole bunch in 2021 if Corona is still going. The only thing I can see bringing prices down is if a politician does something crazy. I don't know who's going to win the election. I don't know who you guys are voting for. I'm probably not going to vote because Trump lost by 3.5 million votes last year, and he still won. But yep, that's what's going on. So if you guys got any questions, feel free to DM me on social media, leave a comment below, and or just send me a direct message on here.